sisters, Donna Partow here, welcoming you to day 45 of our 90-day renewal in spirit, soul, and body. Day 45, you know what that means, don't you? Yep, we're at the halfway point. So congratulations, you're running a marathon, and if you've made it this far, you are doing a fabulous job. I know you can make it the rest of the way with God's help. Today I want to talk with you about self-pity, and I'll tell you if there's one thing that's really held me back along the way, it's that never-ending tendency to not only feel sorry for yourself, but to invite other people to join you in feeling sorry for yourself. And I've often said that the only two people who attend pity parties are you and the devil. So unless you want to chill with the devil, it's probably better to never ever, no not ever, feel sorry for yourself. I hope you're enjoying these stories from the Chief. I want to go ahead and tell you another one. Chief, as you'll recall, is the friend that I've been spending time with. He's about, I think, 106 years old. And he told me the story of growing up in Italy. And when he was 3 years old, doctors were called to his home to perform surgery on his father without anesthesia. And he can remember the trauma of that day, and his father did not survive. I don't know if he died that day or within a matter of days, but I don't know if he would survive surgery at home without anesthesia either, but his father did not. And at that point, he and his mother and brothers and sisters went through a very difficult time financially. His mother, a widow with children to support. And when he was about 8 years old, she decided to set off for the promised land of America. And they took a two-day journey by horse and buggy to the city of Naples. And he can remember the night before as a family gathered with, holding hands and praying and praying and praying that somehow they would pass the health inspection. I don't think they were qualified to pass, but they passed it. And they boarded a ship sailing for the United States. They were on board this ship under deck for 16 days in turbulent waters crossing the Atlantic, never once saw the light of day, never once had a breath of fresh air. They were under deck with all kinds of farm animals, horses, cows, dogs, sheep, all of this stuff. Everybody sick at the stomach and, going to the bathroom. I mean, he said the stench. All these years later, he still remembers. 11 years old, he still remembers the stench. But they made it. They made it to America. Not long afterwards, his mother died because he sailed when he was 8 years old. When he was 11 years old, his mother died of pneumonia. She was only 44 years old, and then he was kind of, he and his siblings were alone in the world, making their way in a new country, in a new language, but, they made it. And he said to me, as he shared the story very matter-of-factly, it never occurred to him that he should feel sorry for himself. It never occurred to him that he should be entitled to preferential treatment because of his disadvantaged background. And he said it makes him so frustrated when he sees what's happening in America today with, all the people, the grievance mongers, and, they've got a disadvantage and someone else has got to pay for, the tough beginning that they had. He said he was so busy focusing on what was ahead and the opportunities that he didn't look backwards. And isn't that the same thing that the Apostle Paul said? The Apostle Paul said, forgetting what is behind, I press on. I press on towards the great things that God has in my future. Sisters, I know how tempting it is. I've had a tough life too. But we need to resist the temptation to throw those pity parties. And we need to press on towards the awesome things that God has in store for us. Just a couple hours ago, I was sitting and I was taking notes, and I wrote this little sentence, that your past is God's most powerful opportunity to impact someone else's future. That's the way to look at the tough things you've been through, as an opportunity to help someone else, and not as an opportunity for you to pitch a pity party for you and the devil. So that's my challenge. Never ever, no not ever, indulge in pity parties. That's it for today. I'm Donna Partow with your 90-day renewal in spirit, soul, and body.